we're smarter than everybody. On the other side of it, what they won't admit is they're very insecure with their stature. They're very insecure with it. So being the biggest rapper in New York, you're very, very threatened when somebody else from outside of New York comes in and gets that same kind of stature.
Willie D Live.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Because we had to get over that hump, to get that respect. It was like, you from where? Oop, man, you ain't from New York, man. You get the hell up out of here, bro. And that went for anybody outside of New York. So
New York has had an arrogance, over the top arrogance.
Yeah. One of the other things that I would notice about New Yorkers, some of the New Yorkers, even if they liked something from outside of New York, they would not say it boldly and publicly. They would not state that publicly. They would just kind of keep it to themselves or say it between the person that they think it wouldn't let it out.
Right.
Right. That part I couldn't understand that. I witnessed that firsthand, being on the ground in New York when a guy did that once. We was hanging around and the guy was talking about how much he loved some of the music from outside of New York, and then a New Yorker pulled up and he stopped talking.
I think truthfully a lot of people don't want to admit this. In my opinion, what comes to New York is an elite insecurity complex, because we really think we're better than everybody for the most part. It's why we call people from outside of New York Bamas or whatever, like as a diss, like, oh, you a Bama, you don't know nothing. We're smarter than everybody. On the other side of it, what they won't admit is they're very insecure with their stature. They're very insecure with it. So being the biggest rapper in New York, you're very, very threatened when somebody else from outside of New York comes in and gets that same kind of stature. So that's why we had such a hard time giving us the South props and the West Coast. New York had a very hard time giving props up to the East and to the South and the West Coast, quite frankly, because when the South started dominating, there's nothing we could do about it. And I'm a perfect example, like the Sauce Awards, and I think Outkast, somebody out there said, South got something to say, because everybody could feel it, because New York had a very elitist kind of attitude about this is the place that hip-hop started, blah, 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 so it can't be anywhere else. And if you're paying attention, if you got any sense and you're paying attention, it's going to take different forms in different places, and it's going to have different places. And I've seen with my own two eyes, Big Daddy Kane is on fire, but I had a show with Hammer, and people were yelling for Hammer in the show because we were outside of New York. It's like the world is not about New York. New York is about New York, but the world outside of New York is not about New York. So we had to learn the hard way a lot of times.
What do you think about the current condition of hip-hop?
Unfortunately, in my opinion, I think the thing that we never really put together to this day, the colonizer and the oppressor is really dictating what we do. Meaning, and I said I was one of the most frustrated rappers of all time, because there's so much stuff that I wanted to say I never got to say because the record company would not back it. So, and they would tell you things like, that's not hood enough. Your hood don't want to hear that. Like, how do you know you haven't been to my hood ever, and you have not been to any hood that I know of? So how do you know what the hell the hood wants? So when the things work and they make money, they just focus on the record companies trying to make money. They're not trying to make a consciousness of making any kind of movement, which is why I thought the best time in hip hop history was when Public Enemy came out in 1987, and 88 and 89. And we had X-Clan, we had Lakim Shabazz, we had Poor Righteous Teachers. When it got to the place that was so pro-black, that's when I was in bliss. I thought it was over the top. I thought we were there for sure. But again, when the gangster rap started getting more promoted, and it wasn't like, and I love Snoop together, I love Dre, without me, I'm Snoop, Dre, and Ice Cube for sure. But the company putting money behind that, I thought was very, very counterproductive for us, quite frankly. And I thought that New York is always about what they put, not New York, just the industry is always about what they put money behind. So in this case now, we at Entropy, we got a point now where hip-hop is now taking the form of what's going to be the most popular, could make the most money for the record companies, not for the artists in particular.
You earlier mentioned that you were really serious about writing music. You were serious about the songs.
Yes.
In retrospect, you wasn't paying too much attention to the business side. And had you paid as much attention to the business side and others like you, and including myself, because I came not too far after you, perhaps hip-hop would be in better shape than it is today, because we were focused more on being the talent.
Artistic, yes.
We were focused more on, the artistic side of hip-hop, and others had their minds and eyes solely set on getting paid.
Yes.
And now the paid side has eclipsed the artistic side of hip-hop.
Absolutely.
And now we are in trouble. And it's like guys like you and I, we don't run hip-hop. We don't own hip-hop.
Right.
And so, but we love hip-hop, and it's gotten away from us. Do you foresee any way of getting it back? Because it's not going to get on track by the people who currently run it. They're not going to put it on track.
Right.
It's running just the way they'd like it to run. Get money, get money, get money. Destroy yourself, destroy yourself, destroy yourself. That's the message. That's at least what I get from it.
Self-destruction. Yes, yes, yes.